What if I told you that this incredible woman is 60 years old? Her name is Laura Comfort. When people first find out her age, most are sure that some kind of mistake has occurred. She looks much younger than her years, remains active, full of energy and interest in life. But the most interesting thing is not about genetics or any secret procedures. Her lifestyle shows that youth is not an accident, but the result of daily habits and attitudes towards oneself. And in this video, we'll look at what principles help her maintain her health, energy, and attractiveness. And most importantly, what absolutely anyone can use. Therefore, watch this video to the end. It will be very interesting and useful. So, let's get started. First, Laura leads a really active lifestyle. And here it is important to understand one detail. Activity is not always an hour-long workout in the gym. Modern research shows that the body reacts much better to regular movement throughout the day than to 1 hour of intense exercise and subsequent sitting until the evening. It is the constant movement that keeps the muscles, joints, heart, and blood vessels in good condition. It improves blood circulation, helps cells get more oxygen and nutrients, and this directly affects both the appearance of the skin and the energy level. If you want to look younger, start not by looking for the perfect workout program, but by asking a simple question. How long do you move during the day? Sometimes an additional 5,000 to 6,000 steps a day are more useful than the occasional grueling workout. Another habit of Laura's is to spend a lot of time outdoors, and this is much more important than it seems at first glance. Most people today spend almost the entire day indoors, at home, in the car, in the office, in a store or shopping mall. As a result, the body is constantly experiencing a shortage of natural light and contact with nature. Meanwhile, walking outside helps to stabilize circadian rhythms, the body's internal clock. This has a positive effect on sleep quality, hormone production, and recovery rate. In addition, fresh air promotes more efficient brain function. Many people notice that after a walk, they become calmer, concentrate better, and make decisions easier. Try to spend at least 30 to 40 minutes outside every day without a phone in your hands. Don't turn walking into another work task. Just observe the world around you. Such a rest can give the body much more than it seems. Interestingly, Laura follows fashion trends. At first glance, this may seem like a superficial habit, but in fact, there is an important psychological mechanism hidden here. When a person continues to be interested in the modern world, tries new images, is not afraid to experiment with style, he retains a sense of involvement in life. Many people begin to age psychologically much earlier than physically. They stop being interested in new things, and they haven't changed their habits, clothes, or surroundings for years. The brain gets used to the monotony, and this is gradually reflected even in behavior and facial expression. You don't have to buy expensive clothes or completely change your wardrobe. Sometimes it's enough to add a new color, a modern accessory, or change your usual hairstyle. This is not a fashion issue, but a way to show yourself that life goes on and there are still many interesting things ahead. Another principle of Laura is a diverse life. Many centenarians around the world are united by one feature. They are constantly gaining new experiences. It can be traveling, new hobbies, learning languages, creativity, new acquaintances, or mastering unusual skills. When the brain encounters something new, additional connections are formed between the neurons. This helps to preserve memory, attention, and the ability to think quickly for longer. Monotony, on the contrary, gradually reduces brain activity. Therefore, it is useful to regularly change the usual walking route, try new dishes, read books of different genres, and study something that previously seemed completely uninteresting. Such small changes become a kind of training for the nervous system. A special place in Laura's life is occupied by the family, and this is another factor that is directly related to longevity. People often underestimate the impact of close relationships on health. However, numerous studies show that strong social connections reduce the level of chronic stress, reduce the risk of depression, and are even associated with a longer life expectancy. When a person feels supported, the body produces fewer stress hormones and the immune system works more efficiently. At the same time, the quality of communication is much more important than quantity. Sometimes one sincere conversation with a loved one brings more benefits than dozens of superficial contacts on social networks. It is worth regularly setting aside time for family, joint walks, dinners, or trips. It is such moments that become a real source of emotional health. Laura's next secret is positive thinking. It is important to dispel a common myth right away. Positive thinking does not mean ignoring problems or constantly smiling artificially. It's about something else entirely. It is the ability to notice opportunities, even in difficult situations, and not focus solely on the negative. Constant stress triggers inflammatory processes, impairs sleep quality, accelerates skin aging, and negatively affects almost all body systems. Therefore, it is useful to ask yourself a simple question every evening: what good happened today? Perhaps one of Laura's wisest principles is that she accepts herself and her age. This is where many people make a serious mistake. They begin to endlessly struggle with time, compare themselves with younger people, worry about each new wrinkle, and gradually turn taking care of themselves into a source of constant stress. But the paradox is that accepting age often makes a person look younger. When the internal tension disappears, your posture, facial expression, gait, and even your voice change. Self-care becomes not a struggle with age, but a manifestation of respect for one's own body. Friends, what do you think of this woman? Write your opinion in the comments. If this video was useful to you, then please like it and share the link with those who might find it particularly useful. We also recommend watching this video that's currently appearing on your screen.